Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, honey. Whatever time you're watching this, you fill in the blanks. So, I decided, ooh, I'm ashy. Oh, well, too late to put on some lotion now. That was so random. I decided to do a reading on the reporter from, I think it's called I hope I'm not saying this wrong, the Metroplex. It's like the largest newspaper outlet for that CABO, San Lucas, Mexican area. And the reporter in particular that I'm going to do this reading on is none other than Mr. Gerardo Zuniga. I hope I'm saying that right, honey, because I'm country as hell. If I'm not, somebody please correct me and sound it out down at the bottom in the comments. But I wanted to do this reading because there's so much back and forth over what's the truth, what's not the truth. There's literally like a YouTube war on, is this happening? Is this not happening? Is this person locked up? Is this person not locked up? And I just wanted to spiritually get to the bottom of it. One thing I will say before I do this reading, and I know this personally because I live in an area where we have not only, state and local police, we have Homeland Security. And just like the federal government, Homeland Security can detain without alerting the public. You can be detained without the ability to make phone calls if they see fit. So when it comes to the FBI, Interpol, Homeland Security, higher government agencies of such nature, they don't have to comply with the due process of local, state, and county government. So we have to be objective when we look at this, because these people investigating when it comes to the federal government, they're not even going to fill the family in on certain things because they don't want the family to go to the public or to tell other family members, and information leaks and gets to the wrong sources. So even the family will be in the dark on a lot of things until further notice. And with that in mind, you have to understand that Dejanay or any of the six can be detained without the government saying anything, because they don't have to. And in situations where you have conspiracy, you have RICO, things of that nature, especially when it involves more than one country, they're not going to say anything to the public until everything is lock, stock, and barrel, okay? Why tell the right hand what the left hand is doing so people can stay, ahead of the authorities? They're not going to give them that upper hand. By the time we, John and Jane Q public, know the full story of who got picked up where and what all happened, not only will the CABO 6 be detained and fully collected, whoever is hiding them will possibly be detained and facing charges as well. So now that I've prefaced this reading and I put this oil on my hands and my legs still look like I've been tap dancing in flour, we're gonna go ahead and start this damn reading. I've said my prayers and done everything that I needed to do off camera. So without any further ado, oh yeah, just a FYI. Now that I'm getting off into the Mexican officials and the local people, I wanted to tap in a little bit deeper. And I've had these, I had to go and find them. So I went and got my Mexican sugar, my Sugar Skull Tarot deck. And I'm going to use it interchangeably with the decks that I have here on the table. So, of course, Mr. Zuniga, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm going to use the Sugar Skull for him, and everything else will be clarifiers and oracle. So, let's get it. All right, spirit guides. What is Mr. Zuniga's actual, how do I say this? What is his agenda? Why is he coming forward talking? What is his agenda? Why is he coming forward talking? What is his agenda? Okay, so 7 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Yeah, that's like sowing seeds for a bigger harvest. Like this, and I can understand that. This is a very big story for him. Queen of Cups, very intuitive type energy, possibly maternal type energy, or very intuitive, almost like psychic energy. Queen of Pentacles. I feel like this man has a soft spot in his heart for Shanquilla's mother, and when he saw her mother and what, you know, she was saying and what she was going through, because the Queen of Pentacles would be Shanquilla, because Shanquilla is a Capricorn. Earth signs are represented by the Pentacles, so definitely this is her right here. So I do see that he does want justice. The Strength card, he's pretty much going out on a limb, being brave here, okay? Temperance, balance through a new beginning. So that's at the bottom of the deck. He wants to help bring, he wants to bring the story to the light, because this is a multi-layered story. This is way bigger than what everybody thinks it is. And he will be an award-winning reporter after this is over. Page of Wands. So he's looking at new action, new ways to go about things. Also, you got the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck and the Ace of Cups. So there's some things that are in secret, or possibly angel investors. There are people investing in him that we don't see, that is helping keeping him going so that he can focus on this case. It's almost like you'd be surprised who's supporting him, or, you know, giving him information. 5 of Swords. There's conflict in communication. Okay, so I did preface this reading by saying that people were saying that he was lying, that the messages that he was putting out about somebody possibly being arrested is not true. So this is showing that, and it fell right up under Shanquilla's card. So this is showing the conflict from everybody on social media, arguing about if he's telling the truth, if he's not telling the truth. The YouTubers going back and forth. The Moon and the Page of Pentacles popping out at the bottom of the deck. He is keeping some secrets, though. Here's the thing. There is not a such thing as a reporter who doesn't. So what this feels like to me is the secrets that he's keeping are not necessarily about the case. It's more so about his actual source. He's keeping his actual sources a secret. I mean, yeah, Three of Cups. This is a card of celebration and collaboration. So after you see the Five of Swords, you're seeing the Three of Cups, which is a collaboration between him and 3 other bloggers. I'm sorry, I didn't hold any of these up in the camera. So let me go back to the beginning. So let's see, because I always like to be transparent with my cards. So 7 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and by the way, everything's in the upright. I haven't gotten anything in reverse with them yet. The Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. This would be Shanquela's card. Strength. Page of Wands. Five of Swords. Three of Cups. And now we're current. Okay. Ace of Cups at the bottom. This card is very interesting because you've got this black bird, not necessarily a crow, but definitely blackbirds, crows. They are usually like not only messengers, but they're spirit guides that help to guide people over to the other world. So, you know, sadly, it's like here's the messenger that's bringing him abundance. Like I said, he's keeping his actual source a secret. It would probably be because it could either change this person's life for the worse or cause this person to possibly what's the new cute term y'all use on YouTube? Be unalived. YouTube get on my nerves. The stuff they don't let people say versus the stuff they actually let you see. Total contradiction. Yeah, so like I said, temperance. He wants to get balance through a new beginning, and that balance is going to come by actually setting the record straight. But I feel like he needs to be careful because even with his source, it's not like he's getting bad information, but they're giving him partial information because they don't trust, you know, that this is going to be safe for them as well. So they give him just enough to where when it's all said and done, he's going to be exonerated as far as people thinking that he's lying once it all comes out how this works. But at the same token, they're only telling him enough so that it can't be pinpointed. So I would suggest to him that he just take some things with a grain of salt and do a little bit more research. And then when he releases it, release it in nuggets more so that you can build the story and keep the story going, and it will keep, you know, it's going to keep building income because people are going to want to have a scoop, and that way the scoop can be continuous. King of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the 10 of Pentacles. So King of Cups is someone who feels deeply but does not wear their emotions on their sleeve. So this is something that is a passion of his. This isn't just about the money, but it definitely is bringing him money, and it's bringing him more money than what he's accustomed to making in his own profession. Seven of Swords. So we got Page of Wands. So Page of Wands, let's see. I'm looking at this because I don't have a certain layout to how I do my cards, but at the same token, I still, get the job done. So here it is. We got the Queen of Cups, Page of Wands. Down here at the bottom is Seven of Swords. So due to certain information, certain sources, and how certain government things work, they're trying to find new ways to do things. But it's like they have to do things in a way that would be considered underhanded when it comes to releasing some of this information. And he thinks about this when he keeps her mother in mind with certain things that he reports, because for what he says, there's a lot that he's not saying, and I feel like it's out of respect. So that's kind of noble, because it's like people can see it as underhanded or sneaky, not wanting to trust him. Some things he won't speak on because he doesn't want to get himself in trouble. Other things are out of respect. Bottom of the deck, Hierophant. That's letting me know also that he feels like a lot of people in law enforcement and government cannot be trusted. So this is another reason why he's so apprehensive about certain information being released and certain things that he says, because he doesn't, even though he's exposing things, he doesn't trust the system. He feels like the system, when it comes to him and things that he's putting out, he feels like the system could betray him. Intriguing enough, in this card, this is a bank. This is a man standing out in front of the bank and the door. And then you have this woman with this like sugar skull mask hiding her face. And she's going off with a lasso and her swords. So that to me is more so, is channeling. He knows that there's something to do with a financial transaction in a woman. There is a very sneaky woman connected to this case that did something with Shanquela's money. And he knows he's gotten some information that he doesn't want to release yet about something to do with a deposit. Somebody did something with the money, and it's trickling down now, but he doesn't want to release that information because it's very prominent information that would identify a certain person in a certain area, and the authorities are triangulating on multiple people. So it's going to come out more information in the future about what was done with her money, bank accounts. Don't you play with my damn lights. We not doing that. Where was I at? Yeah, it's going to come out that things were done with her money. There were transfers, there were deposits. There is something to be said about being excited that people could be this stupid, even though they're supposed to be intelligent. These are all college grads. So please don't ever confuse book smarts and intelligence, because book smarts does not mean that a person has actual common sense. Because this is showing me that there's a very obvious paper trail here somewhere with bank deposits and money transfers and transactions. A lot of this is going to come out in court, but this is also a higher judicial order they're watching all of this. They're fine-tooth comb. If these people put money in family members' accounts and these family members don't usually make these types of deposits, or you got some money without having proof of showing how you got the money, like you can't say that, you hit the lottery. Where's the winning lottery ticket? Like, there's got to be a paper trail to how you are receiving this money and making deposits. Because remember, if people were hard up for money before they went on vacation, and they were on vacation and it wasn't a working vacation, how did you come home and deposit money when you didn't have the money to fly home? You got the Knight of Swords. So you got messages coming through. And these messages are going to come through very swiftly. I didn't even look at that. Eight of Wands. Yes, very swiftly. These messages are going to come through in the near future. Now, I don't usually have my cards in reverse in my deck, but I'm going to take that. In the near future, that something happened. You got to excuse me. Something happened where somebody was found with their family, and that's why this family card is upside down, because you got people, family, like, hell no, you can't stay here. I understand you on the run, but run past this motherfucker. Don't stop here, okay? Three of Pentacles. So, like I said, this is a collaboration. They collaborated to, receive unearned income. These people who collaborated and did all of this to get to her money are literally penny pinching, and they're at the point where you have to rob Peter to pay Paul. But what do you do when there's no Peter and Paul and you're running out of whatever money you could have possibly had? That's why this Ten of Cups is in reverse, because family members are shunning these people. They're not being bothered with them. They don't want anything to do with them. Don't come by here. Don't call here. Don't do nothing that got to do with disturbing the family. It says happier days are coming. Bottom of the deck. That was the Sun. To the Ten of Swords. Happier days are coming after, all of you are exposed for setting her up. Ten of Swords. So, yeah, Mr. Zuniga, he knows way more than what he's saying, but for safety measures and protection of his real sources, because it goes way deeper than whoever he's saying he talked to in law enforcement. He has some very, very interesting sources, to say the least. And I think some people would be surprised at who's giving him information. But for the most part, what I see is he has to be creative with what he decides to tell. And that doesn't mean he's lying. It means I have to say things that don't get me in trouble with the authorities for messing up their investigation, but at the same time are accurate. Because you got to think, if he was saying something that was ruining their investigation and picking up the rest of these people, he could get picked up as well. The Mexican authorities could pick him up. Ace of Swords, yes. And this is the truth. This is the truth. So he has to be very cautious, because he doesn't want to overstep his freedom of speech. Ten of Wands. This is putting the weight of the world on his back, because there's things that he knows that he can't say. The Lovers. Lovers is Gemini. Also, that is actual lovers, and that's another card of collaboration. So he also knows the truth about relationships and bonds within this group that haven't been made public yet. And that goes back to what I was saying about there's certain things that he's not reporting out of respect, because I kept picking up on this energy from day one that there is some weird sexual, like, how do I describe this? I mean, it's not even swingers energy, because this is a little bit deeper than swingers. It's like there's sexual energy within the group, but there's also secrets among the group that everybody in the group is not privy to. So even though these people are all yoked together by the lies they have to tell to protect themselves because of what they got themselves into, these people are still going to figure out other things that they've all been doing secretly behind each other's back, if that makes sense. My lights flickering, so that was a confirmation. It's only one. Yes, there it is. That's a confirmation. Okay, stop it. Not shit. Because I'm not trying to go buy a light bulb. That was a confirmation. Hey, leave my damn lights alone. It wasn't until I started doing this reading that this light bulb started doing this. Where's my, come on, Sage. Come on, Sage. Let's lighten some of this energy up. So I would suggest that if you value this man's safety, please pray for him. Send him prayers of protection. Also keep praying that the truth comes out, because there's a lot to be said, a lot that's still hidden, a lot that is not coming to the surface in this case. And it's definitely going to be, a situation to where people are going to be shocked, because there's a lot of twists and turns in this story that are definitely not expected. But what happened should have still never happened. Nine of Swords. So, yeah, he has a lot of anxiety about this situation. Ten of Wands popped up again at the bottom of the deck. He's not sleeping well. It's a lot on his mind. He's worried about his safety, and that's a burden to him. But he feels dedicated to this story, and he has to stick with it. He has to ride this out. Ten of Swords. Yeah, he has to ride this out, because, like I said, he's worried about his safety. But he knows that this story has to be told. And this is why he's worried about his safety. I already said the Hierophant. I got cards backwards in the deck. What is going on here? Yeah, he knows that this story has to be told. He doesn't want to get quiet, because, see, when you're in a situation like this, the safest place you can be is out in the middle of the street. Believe it or not. It's safer when you're out where everybody can see you. When you get quiet, you disappear. You put yourself in a situation to where, believe it or not, things can happen to you when you get quiet and we don't see you. So we have to keep sending him prayers for his safety, to protect him. King of Cups. Like I said, this is a man who, he cares deeply for his work, but he doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. Six of Wands. He could possibly, be moving or considering moving because he wants to leave behind certain energy and move into calmer waters. But he's definitely invested in getting this story finished. I have never in the history of my life did a reading and have my electronics and my lights flicker. Death. So there's a cycle coming to an end. I don't, death doesn't always mean physical death, but it does mean a transition, things coming to an end and there being a new beginning after the transition. But just keep praying for his safety. Six of Cups. That's a card from the past. This is people from the past, people that you grew up, people that you used to deal with. This is a card that represents the CABO 6. Okay, my light has stopped. Yeah, that's a card that represents the CABO 6. And see, you see the young lady here with the cup, and then you see all these cups out here, and you see these other people are out here talking and they're socializing, but this person is like ostracized. They're drinking by themselves. They're watching everybody else have a good time. That's the energy that Shanquela was in. Like she tried to socialize, but after a while she realized that there was a negative energy that was very thick in the room. It was very obvious to her after a while that these people just weren't feeling her. And it was strange to her that, as soon as she gets down here, everybody was so happy to go. Everybody was so, about, partying and having a good time. And then, boom, as soon as you get there, you start, heading towards the house. It was like the unnecessary started to occur. People got in their feelings. People started to show their true colors. By this time, it's too late. You're already in another country. Yeah, she had the money to fly back home, but she really honestly did not think that these people felt this way. It was a progression. Once because I keep getting there was like a petty argument discussion on the way to the house in the car. She didn't really think much of it, and then it just kept escalating. Things just kept happening. I'm definitely on to something because, damn it, like I said with this light, all day nothing has been happening in my house. I've been lounging around, relaxing, enjoying my day off. As soon as I start this reading, it's only this one light bulb that's doing, it's almost like it's a Morse code. I wish I could read Morse code. Okay, high honors, the mature woman. I keep getting a child vibe, and I keep getting that somebody was pregnant. I do not know who in particular, because I feel like there is it's like a split energy. There's someone who has a new baby, and there's somebody who was about to have a baby. See? Yep, like I said, here we go. High honors to the mature woman. And she was the mature one out of her group, okay? Even though she wasn't the oldest, she was the one who had the adult mindset. This is saying concerns, child, and message attached to a gift. So, I hate to say this, it's becoming more and more clear to me, and it's been clear to me for a while, that Shanquela could have possibly been pregnant or just found out she was pregnant, which her mother says she wasn't a drinker. So this will be another reason why, she wouldn't be getting drunk. Because, see, we really don't know if she had mocktails. because for her to drink all night with them, she would have still had to have traces in her system. The well, not even toxicology, that's not what I wanted to say. Autopsy report said there was no alcohol found in her system, which makes it impossible for her to be throwing up from alcohol poisoning or to be sick from drinking, and you can't find any traces of anything in her system. The liver doesn't oxidize alcohol or anything that fast. You can only process one drink an hour. So if she drank like that to get alcohol poisoning, which we know she didn't, there's no way there would be zero traces in her system. So I'm leaning towards she had a mocktail. She didn't drink any alcohol. Unexpected income attached to the high honors. The thief, that's why it's unexpected income, because the person that they took out, they stole from, which ends up leading to their despair. There we go. Despair came out. Concern is right up under despair after this journey. Bad health falls right up under the child. Like I said, I hate to say, I believe that Shanquela was pregnant. The family doesn't have to release that information because that's really not our business. But that explains to me why her father weeps so hard when he said, I never get to be a grandfather. It's a possibility that they told him that she was with child. And I couldn't imagine the pain that her family feels. I really couldn't, because it's very disturbing for us, and we didn't know her. Message at the last card here, bottom of the deck, is imprisonment. So we already know they're all worried about going to prison. Hell, anybody would be worried about going to prison in Mexico. The false person, message released to the false person. We're going to have to really keep an eye on this case and use more so what people would call street sense and common sense, because people are way more intuitive than they know. I mean, I know it's people like me that pick up on these messages and we deliver these messages, but as a collective, as a global family, you guys are cracking this case, whether you know it or not. Great fortune, main male. So this is showing that the reporter is making a pretty penny off of this. Is he giving all the information he can give? Absolutely not. Are there, some things that he could be a little bit more clear on? Yes. But is he, worried about the safety of whoever's giving him his information in his own life? Absolutely. So with that being said, if I was him, there's a lot that I wouldn't say either, because things like this affect you, your family. Mexico is definitely not the type of place where you want to piss off the wrong people. They can harm not just you, but your family. So yeah, he would definitely have to be very careful about what he says to protect him and his family. So this is the end of my reading for the reporter, Carlos Zuniga. I hope what the hell I get Carlos from? That ain't nobody damn name. Gerardo Zuniga. Baby, I hope I'm saying it right. At least I know I said the first name right, because I don't know who the hell Carlos is. Hell, who's Carlos, one of your damn informants? Because I don't know Carlos, and I bet nobody is watching this knows who the hell Carlos is. But let me go ahead and cleanse this energy. Heavenly Father, put a fiery hedge of protection around everybody who is actually getting justice for Shinquela. Put a fiery hedge of protection around everybody who is watching my video or able to listen to it. And keep a fiery hedge of protection around me, all of the YouTubers who actually want real justice for Shinquela and not just a click and a view. And keep a fiery hedge of protection around all of the light workers around the world and everybody who's working in the spirit to keep the vibration elevated so this wonderful, beautiful young lady can get justice. With that being said, I bring this reading to a close, and this reading is adjourned.